Examination of blood smears under the microscope is one of the practical skills that trips up more students than almost anything else in the OCR A-level biology. Let's fix that. Oh, and if you want free study notes on this topic plus practice questions, check out my resources by clicking the link in the description. Let's get to the video.
One of the really important things that you must be able to do for some of the OCR A-level spec questions is be able to identify different components of the blood from a blood smear, which is looking at blood under the microscope. We're going to run through what the different cells are that you should see in a blood smear and how you would identify them. What is a blood smear, first of all? Then a blood smear, also known as a blood film, is literally a thin layer of blood that's been placed across a glass slide and stained in order that individual cells or components of the blood can be identified under the light microscope. It allows us to detect different types of diseases because blood cell counts change with different ailments like leukemia, anemia, or even malaria. So blood smears are really good in medical diagnosis. What scientists, hematologists will do is they will stain the blood with different stains. The two that come up in the OCR spec are, now I don't know if I'm saying this right, Giesma and Leishman stains. And what they do is they stain different components of blood cells differently, making the cells very recognizable and distinguishable under the light microscope. Now, these are the main components of a blood smear that you should be able to identify and recognize. Red blood cells, platelets, lymphocytes, monocytes, neutrophils, and macrophages. And we're going to look at each one individually, very, very basically, having an understanding of its structure and what it would look like on a smear. Erythrocytes then are red blood cells. These are small biconcave discs. They're about 7 to 8 micrometers in diameter. Remember that they have no nucleus, no mitochondria, no other membrane-bound organelles once in their mature form because their role is to carry oxygen around in the hemoglobin that's inside of them instead. Typically, we look at them in textbooks as this like kind of red donut or Yorkshire pudding shape. But what would they look like on a smear? They would be the most abundant cell on the slide. So the majority in a healthy blood smear of cells would be the red blood cell. They stain pale pink. They do look like a donut. You can see that in the smear. They are anucleate, meaning no nucleus at all. So the center of it becomes much lighter, which is why it appears to have this indentation. So that's what you'd be looking for under the microscope for the red blood cell or the erythrocyte. The platelets or the thrombocytes are very small, irregular cell fragments. They're not actually a full cell at all. They're about 2 to 3 micrometers across, and they are formed from the fragmentation of larger cells in the bone marrow. And again, because they're not actually a cell, they're a fragment, they don't have a nucleus. They look a bit like this, little tiny fragments in the smear. When you look at them under the microscope, they literally appear as small, dark stained fragments on the slide, and they're scattered in between the red blood cells. The neutrophils, they would be the most abundant type of white blood cell. They're also known as the leukocyte. Leuko means white. Basically, all white blood cells are leukocytes, and then we look at all the different types. So neutrophils are a type of leukocyte in the blood, the most abundant. They're about 10 to 14 micrometers in diameter. Now, the way you distinguish these from the other cells is you look at the nucleus. The nucleus is very distinctive. It's like multi-lobed or polymorphic. And there's about 2 to 5 lobes in total, and they are connected. The lobes are connected by very, very thin strands of nuclear material. The cytoplasm of the neutrophil would have very, very tiny, small grains in it. It's very granular, and these grains are lysosomes and they are secretory vesicles. That's what you'd see, something like that. Obviously, this is an animation, but that's the kind of thing you'd see on a blood smear. They are larger than the red blood cells, the erythrocytes. They would have pale pink cytoplasm, and this lobed purple stained nucleus would be really distinctive for the neutrophil. Monocytes are the largest of the white blood cells. They're about 15 to 20 micrometers across. Their characteristical thing to look up to identify them is this really large kidney-shaped or horseshoe-shaped nucleus. And they are pretty abundant in their cytoplasm, meaning they have a lot of cytoplasm, and the cytoplasm tends to appear a little bit grey-blue or purple in its stain. So there's our monocyte. You can see this nice kidney-shaped nucleus in the middle here. That's what they would generally look like under the microscope. The kidney-shaped or horse-shaped nucleus, the nucleus tends to be quite purple, whereas the cytoplasm is a little bit paler and is quite spacious as well. There's quite a lot of cytoplasm. Macrophages are large, irregular shaped cells and they are derived from the monocytes. What they have done is they've migrated out of the blood and into the tissues. They have a kidney shaped nucleus as well, lots of cytoplasm, and lots of lysosomes and phagosomes. Now, macrophages are different to the monocytes, even though they come from the monocytes, because the macrophages end up in the tissues. They are tissue resident cells. They generally don't tend to be seen on a blood smear because they tend to be in the tissue fluids, not the blood. But if we were to look at them under a microscope, this is what they'd look like. We also find lots of these macrophages within tissue areas, typically the liver. We call them the Kupffer cells in the liver. In the lungs, we call them the alveolar macrophages, and we also find these in our lymph nodes as well. They're a type of phagocyte, by the way. Distinguishing them, they are a type of monocyte, so they're very similar in what they look like. They basically have this kidney-shaped nucleus as well, very, very similar to the monocyte. If I just go back to that, they are very, very similar because the macrophage, as I said before, is derived from the monocyte. We just find them in different areas. It's where they're located, which makes them different cells as such, or give them different names. And then finally, the lymphocytes. Lymphocytes are another type of leukocyte, another type of white blood cell, but these are involved with our specific or adaptive immune response. You learn all about this when you do your immune response, your specific immune response, and they are divided into two main types, the T lymphocytes, which mature in the thymus gland, and the B lymphocytes, which mature in the bone marrow. They have a very large round nucleus. It fills the majority of the cell, and we produce them generally in the bone marrow. T and B, in their naming, comes from where they mature. So there's our typical lymphocyte. You can see that the nucleus almost fills the entire cell in its entirety. So on the blood smear, you would see these as relatively small compared to the other white cells. They're probably similar in size to the erythrocyte, but you would distinguish them very, very well by their large, dark-stained spherical nucleus, which fills the entire cell almost, with only a thin layer of cytoplasm around that nucleus. So let's have a quick look at what a blood smear would look like. If you were given a picture like this in an exam, you weren't necessarily given the names of the different cells. You would be expected to be able to identify them from their appearance. Remember that differential staining is when we use those different stains which stain different components of the cells in a different way so they become distinguishable from each other. Platelets look like these little tiny fragments. We've got this neutrophil, which has this lobed nucleus. They would be interconnected and quite grainy cytoplasm. The lymphocyte has this big spherical nucleus filling almost the entire cell. And then the monocyte as well has this kind of more kidney-shaped nucleus, which is quite big, but there's also quite a lot of cytoplasm in there. And that covers our examination of a blood smear.
Thank you for watching this video. I hope it was helpful. If you want more videos like this, subscribe and let me know in the comments what you're stuck on. Don't forget to check out my resources for free study notes and practice questions on your entire syllabus. See you next time.